Hello, I'm Trevor McDondald, and I'm here to talk to Jamie Fraser about the growth, the beginning, and success of the InterEx Group of companies. Jamie, the amazing thing about your company is that it started when you were only 23 years of age. How did that come about?
Come about from my previous success that I had in the industry. I got into recruitment at quite a young age. More of that, I fell into the job. I did become very successful very quickly, just due to maybe my work ethic and my mindset. And I had a vision of where I wanted to be in life, and I think naturally my last company more so couldn't provide that to me. And me as a person, I'm very, very, very entrepreneurial since I left school, and I think naturally I thought I could do this much better with my ideas and my execution. And then naturally I built this big plan, and that's how we grew from there.
Where did that vision begin? Where did that come from?
Me as a person or the vision
As
of
a person.
InterEx? I think the reason of the vision of how and who I am as a person, I think it was more of I had to do something. I didn't have a plan B of what I could or couldn't do. Naturally, I left school and I went straight into work, and I went into so many different work environments, and I had so many different careers, but recruitment was the one that I naturally become successful at very quickly. My whole mindset and where it come from, I think it's probably from my past, what I've learned from, and me having an attitude of being relentless and being the best at what I am, which naturally I could perform like this within the recruitment industry.
But why did you hit on the philosophy of recruitment? How did that come about?
Literally, I fell into it. I think that like most people in what we do within the recruitment industry, they just fall into it. I think no one, leaves school and actually goes, right, I want to be a recruiter. Nor did I. I was applying for different jobs, and I literally just fell into someone calling me.
And you had different jobs before.
I had multiple different jobs from, working in a fish market. I even had my own, clothing stores at some markets across the UK. So recruitment on an office-based job was probably never something I thought I would ever do as a kid. And I got a call one day and I said, yeah, why not? I know I had a lot of pressure from my mum probably to find a job. And naturally I gave this a shot. Doesn't mean that it was successful from like the first job that I had, but I learned a lot. And the first job I had, I actually wasn't actually that successful at.
Yeah, but it's very successful now.
Yeah.
And you did it all on your own. You started this recruitment idea almost all on your own, with no initiatives, no money from outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was very successful at my last job, but I'd done very stupid things with the money. So naturally, I didn't have anyone that I could rely on to make this a success. I believed in myself. I backed myself. I knew my why more than anyone, and naturally, I knew what I needed to do to be successful. Not to the level that we've got to now. I didn't even dream of us getting like this at the start. I was just thinking I just want to be a one-man band, and we grew and grew and grew. And yes, we took no investment. It's all been organic growth. Everything that we've created to where we are now has been from the culture that we've created, the DNA, the processes, and the whole philosophy of what makes InterEx who we are now.
And you say we, but this was really an individual idea. It was your idea, which you worked on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was my idea. I wouldn't say it was a revolutionary idea at all, at the start anyway. I just knew that, like I said, my last company couldn't give me the platform to take me to the next level. I'm big about comfort zones, and I didn't feel I was outside of my comfort zone in my previous organisations. So lots of people said, why are you not doing it on your own? And I was young. And a lot of people had doubts of me doing it at such a young age. Are you ready? Do you have the right
23?
Experience? 23, yeah. Yeah, I left my last company at 22. InterEx was set up when I was 23. So it was my idea, and I had a refuse to lose attitude. There wasn't a plan B. Everything was InterEx and InterEx only. I didn't have anything else that I wanted to fall back on, and that's why I put my sole focus on driving this business to where we are now.
And there must have been a number of ideas floating around about how you might get into business. Why the emphasis on recruiting? How did that develop?
The recruitment industry is known for the money that you can earn, about the progression that you can get. There's not many industries like recruitment where you can become financially free at a young age. And that's known across the industry, as recruitment is like the #1 sales job probably in the UK where you can become financially free. And naturally for me, I'm driven by money. I'm driven by success. I'm driven by becoming, #1 at what I do. I'm driven by becoming financially free, and younger than any other industry that I could go in. And that's why recruitment was what I wanted to do, and that's why recruitment is such an attractive industry for young entrepreneurial people like myself.
You talk a lot too about your mantra, your philosophy about really giving it everything, working as hard as you can. In fact, working probably harder than anybody else.
Correct. People talk about talent. I think talent only gets you so far in life. I think work ethic and how you work is what outbeats everyone. I work my weekends. Naturally, if I work my weekends, I work more than my competition. If I get in earlier at 7 o'clock, I work longer than my competition. I even move 5 minutes to my office so I could be quicker and work quicker than all of my competition. That is my dedication and how disciplined I am for what I want to get to. And people know me and my work ethic and what I do within the organisation and within the industry, and it is being based on hard work, 100%.
But despite all that, how difficult was it actually to get off the ground with no outside money, doing this all on your own, very much your own initiative?
Yeah, 100%. I think it was hard, very hard. I didn't have a lot of money at the time because everything I was doing was about the business at the time. Like I said, I had no one to rely on to give me that cash investment that probably a lot of companies do have. It took a lot of discipline. I'm huge about mindset. I think your mind creates your life. I really do. And I've been training my mind for years in the right way to ensure that I can handle any situation possible. And I do believe that my mind, me training that, has allowed me to make this so successful, even though it was extremely hard. And it was extremely hard because I was a one-man band, for quite a while, and that's lonely. It's lonely being at the top. It's lonely being just on your own.
Tell me a little bit more about that. How difficult were the early struggles?
Yeah, very difficult. I questioned for months, is this the right decision? I questioned to my mum even, is this the right decision? Have I made the right decision? Because no one knows InterEx. No one knew us. I had to allow people to believe in me. They had to back me. They had to understand that I could add them value at the time. And naturally, I questioned and questioned and questioned, but I think it's about the persistence that I had got me through it, and me keep on being persistent at what I did has got me to the position I'm in now.
Your upbringing obviously played a part in the life that you have developed and shaped for yourself now.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't have an easy upbringing. My mum was, the main provider. I had some dark things that happened. I had a role model in my life. And I think naturally, when you have a role model that you look up to and it just gets taken away from you with a click of a fingers, it kind of shifted my mindset in terms of...
How did that, what was that about?
Yeah, I think it's obviously my father was always my role model in my life, and naturally, and like I said, I witnessed, I saw, and I had some dark things that happened, and I think that's what probably gave me the shift of mindset of why I don't have literally anyone to make something of myself. It's on me. Everything was on me of what I needed to do. Naturally, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with my mum, to be honest with you, but she's always been there. It's been a big difference. But naturally, my father was my role model, is the father figure of my life. And I think naturally when that does get taken away from you, or you have to shut the door, that makes you, that shifted my mindset in terms of how I thought, you know, my take of life and what I needed to do as a person, because I knew what I wanted, and I had a flavour of what I wanted, but, you know, I didn't have an easy upbringing, you know, it was shaky at times, to be honest with you, but that's what made me who I am.
School was not too successful.
It wasn't, no. I left school early. I didn't complete my full school, if I'm honest with you. I didn't click with school. I think it's more to the fact of that's not how I learned the best. I learned the best of being in the world. School did not teach me what I believe it should have, looking back at it now. It's one of my biggest things is the youth nowadays, but, you know, naturally I didn't get the satisfaction out of school that I wanted, and that's why I just didn't care enough. Do I think school's needed? 100%. I think it sets you up in your life, but I think there's a lot more that could have happened. So yeah, I left. That's what I'm saying is my youth was not the best, and that's why I had to create. I had no alternative. I had to create something of myself, because otherwise I wouldn't be in the position that I was now.
And with school not being a success, you had to frame your own philosophy about how you progressed in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Like I said, my mum gave me the ultimatum at the end of the day of what I had to do.
What did she say?
You either work or you don't live here, sort of thing. And that's what I then done. Like I said, I tried lots of different things where it just didn't work for me. But I'll always give it a go, and I'll give it my 100%, and that's what I did. And in recruitment, it was very hard for me because I had borderline had a bit of a stutter. My interview, I was pouring interviews, and no one believed in me until I got a real opportunity one day.
But recruitment is a very sophisticated idea. I mean, on one level, one can say it's very simple, but it's a very interesting philosophical idea.
Yeah.
I mean, how did that form in your mind? Why did you hit on that particularly?
Yeah. It can be easy, 100%. It can be easy if you make it easy. I think a lot of people overcomplicate recruitment. Recruitment for me, and why I managed to progress quickly, I wasn't a natural salesperson. I didn't have the natural talent, and I don't believe you do. Mm-hmm. But I think it come down to me being a sponge. I soaked up all information as I needed to. If my director told me to do something, I did it. I was disciplined in a way of, I appreciated the opportunity. I worked my arse off. I was the youngest in the company. I worked my arse off. It doesn't matter about my age. I'm big about, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're good enough, you're old enough. And that's my philosophy in life, and that's the philosophy within my organisation now, is that I don't care how old people are. I've got phenomenal performers in my organisation at, young ages, and it's because they work hard, they listen, they learn.
Well, one of the fascinating things is you concentrated, and I suppose it makes sense, really, in recruitment, but you concentrated, and you still do, on young people.
Yeah. I do not believe that the youth, especially now, are being given the right platform to be successful. I was very much, I'm not old myself, but I know, even before my generation, there was a lot more discipline driven into, the generation. I feel like now it's getting softer and softer and softer, which naturally people quit more. People give up quicker, and I'm huge about giving the youth an opportunity to realise that they can be super successful very quickly.
If they don't give up.
Exactly that. And that's what I feel like is happening more and more and more. And naturally, what we want to do as an organisation is train people to be persistent, work hard, to understand what it takes to be successful, because we have so many case studies within our organisation of people that have developed and progressed quickly and become financially free quickly. And it's about, I think, educating that more to the industry, and that's my goal, is what more can we do for the youth coming through, because it doesn't mean that we give up. I think it's more to the fact of, I think we need to shift the mindset a bit more.
But that's not easy, is it? Because young people today have such an array of motives and examples of what they could do. for you to steer them in that direction can't be very easy.
It's definitely not easy. You know, in the future, when we sell and we want to sell in the next few years, I want to set up like a youth academy of around mindset, you know, what it takes to be successful quickly. I'm big about success quick, and that's naturally what I've always, you know, I've proven that, success quick. And that's something that I want to set up, is some sort of community and training program for youth coming through of what the success look like quickly and what do they need to do. Because there's lots of people out there, I just think the youth have too many options now.
Yes, well, that's exactly the point I was trying to make, which is that they have so many other things they can do. How do you manage to steer them in the direction that you want them to go?
When they work at our organisation, we give people an end-to-end platform to be successful. Yeah, given we also need to improve as an organisation, but that's growing pains. I think naturally we always, and that's something I thrive on, is improvements. But I think giving them the platform, you know, giving them the support that they need. You know, there's lots of people that result into mental health. What are we doing as an organisation to support that? I think showing people exactly what success looks like, motivating them. Confidence is absolutely key for anyone coming into a new industry. If we can build up people's confidence in the right way, confidence creates happiness, happiness creates success.
Is it only success? Because it must be also something which motivates them to do well and to buy into your idea.
100%. I think we have a great brand identity in terms of who we are. I'm not a 50-year-old CEO, for example. I'm 29 years old, and I'm a role model for a lot of people that come into my organisation. And I give people probably the faith and understanding and opportunity that, okay, you know, this company really does breed success. You know, that Jamie's been there and done it. He's been in all of our positions, and he's created something, and that's something that we want to replicate to everyone else coming into this organisation. It's not about me, and I spoke about we a lot. We as an organisation, we work together as a team, and we are the people collectively from a management team that make this happen.
But you have to sell that idea and that philosophy to your management team as well. How difficult is that culture?
I think my management team buy into me. They know that everything I say, I do. Everything I say is about improvement, making things better, being the best at what we do. We're an ambitious, hungry, and motivated organisation. And we're not for everyone, and I'm not for everyone. I want people to join this organisation that want to do special things, that want to be part of a journey, that have input. I'm huge about people taking accountability within my organisation, especially from my senior leadership team, and they're bought into the vision. They can see that I'm inspirational, that I want to do great things with this organisation, special things where people can see that it stands out within the industry.
And how do you measure success? How do you look at it and say, well, this has worked well? By what measure do you judge that?
Yeah,
I know there's a financial side,
of course,
which is
great,
very, very healthy for a very long time.
Yeah, I think it's more to the fact of people actually wanting to work here. That's how I measure success. My goal for 2023 is to be the people's choice in recruitment, the go-to recruitment company. Why? Because we set up the right platform for them. This is not always about money, and for me, you know, I'm very, very, very money driven, but I'm huge about recognition. Recognition is the number one thing that I look for, and I'm striving for. And I think that's what's absolutely key, is how can we show someone that joining InterEx Group, they'll be in their comfort zone, but we take them out of their comfort zone. There's a lot of people that don't want to step out of their comfort zone because they're not being pushed enough. And this is what I'm saying. I feel like the whole, you know, community and world is becoming too soft in terms of the fact of people don't improve enough. People are not coming out of their comfort zone enough. People are not, you know, reaching their full potential. And that's what I love to see, is the potential that people can actually achieve by being driven and coached into the right direction.
Yes, because sadly, there is a perception that some of this can come without the hard work and the dedication that you put into it. And that is primarily what you have to change.
Yeah, it's not easy, and I can't change the world, but I can do everything in my power to change what we're doing as an organisation. And naturally, like I said, when we do sell, I have ambitions to, focus more on the newer generation coming through, of how we can set up programs for them in terms of setting them up for success. Because it doesn't, there's no reason why you can't change a generation by offering something. And there's always going to be hungrier people than others out there.
It's a big challenge, though. It's changing the mindset, as you said, of a generation.
Of course.
That's a pretty big idea.
But I think it's achievable.
Yeah.
But again, we can only do so much, and I can only do so much. And this is a wider scale plan that I have in my head, and I think it's achievable, and I think it's what we need. I think it's what's needed. There's a clear gap.
But when I see what your company has actually done, you're obviously very successful in doing it. Do people come back and talk to you about how they have developed in following?
I've got an open book policy, right? I send, people know that they can reach out to me. I'm not saying everyone does, because some people probably don't want to always have a conversation with me, but I've got a real open door policy. Like, I don't care if you're a trainee in the organisation. If I've got time, and I always make time, then I'll always offer my support and advice. And naturally, I've seen some very, 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 great success stories. People that are, going to the gym more than they've ever used to done, getting up earlier than they used to. Like, everything's about coming out their comfort zone. And that's something that I see within this organisation, that people see when they join here, is that they think, do you know what, I never thought I could do that. And if someone does say that, that's a sign of success.
So the whole concept of entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
that means a great deal to you.
100%. Yeah, it's something I crave. And to be known as an entrepreneur that has done things at an age that not anyone does, that's what I thrive on. My goal is to sell this company for more than anyone else that's done my age. That is, a big goal for me. It's not about the money. Yeah, of course, that'll be great. But I do this about the recognition and the brand that I create personally. And I'm trying to create a better brand. Like, I've come a long way across my career and across my life, like a long way. And people that know me know how I was different years ago compared to now. My mindset's changed, the way I work's changed, the way I approach life, the way I deal with myself has changed, and that's something I'm grateful for, and I'm continuously looking to improve, because I'm big about the future and not past. Past is done, and I can only create my future.
Do you look around and see the results of all the hard work that you put in?
Yeah, I probably don't. I used to not review it as much as probably I should. I have one-to-one sessions with a lady that's helped me the whole of last year in terms of the way I think, and kind of therapy to some extent. And she preaches about the gratitude, and I need to keep on realising that small bad things happen, but in the wider picture, I'm doing great things, and it's about reminding myself all the time. Naturally, every morning I practice gratitude, and I look at the things that I've done, and I always want to consistently remind myself that, yeah, great things have happened, but I'm the type of person that always wants to do more. I want to improve. Like, my whole goal for this year was revamping everything. I crave taking things to the next level, and really standing out for what we do.
It's this aim about continually creating what you call, and your company calls, a winning culture.
Yes. Yeah. We are building a winning culture. It's about high performance, but it's not always about the money. It's about how people work well with each other, how people grow themselves, how people celebrate together, We continuously want to improve. That's our goal, is continuous improvement. We want to improve our culture. We want it to be, more for the wider community as well, rather than just the stereotypical salesperson. We want to change that perception of us as an organisation. There's lots that we want to adapt and change and evolve, because I do believe that as we scale and as we grow, we need to adapt, we need to evolve a little bit further, and we need to not be stuck in our old ways and start thinking like a bigger business, because that's our goal, is to get, we want to double this year to get to 220 people globally. For us to do that, we need to keep on adapting and evolving to the way the times are.
So do you say how many people you have?
Yeah, we've hit 100 and we want to get to about 220 this year with another office in New York. So really ambitious plans for this year, but really exciting plans at the same time.
Yes, and we haven't talked about, how has the company grown? I mean, you started off here, you now have an office in Miami, you're thinking about moving to New York.
Yeah.
This is a constant pattern of growth for the company.
Yes. I don't ever want to be in my comfort zone. I think I said to my CFO this year, it's the first time I've ever felt this sort of pressure. It's good pressure. I'm big about, stress, good stress, bad stress. It's good stress. And I crave that. I thrive off that. And we have a very, very, very big plan for this year. But like I said to the whole of my company last year, I told them exactly what we wanted to do and we did it. And that's me, is if I say we're going to do something.
What was that magic thing that you told them about the growth of the companies?
I told them, everyone that was with us from January to December, I said, you will be a much better person. You will have improved. You would be more happy about your life. I told everyone that we would have doubled. We doubled. I told everyone we would have opened in Miami successfully. We opened Miami successfully. Everything I say, and this is why people buy into me, is that I'm not someone that talks, I do. This year, I said what we're going to do and we're going to do it. And there's no stopping me and there's no stopping us in terms of what we're going to achieve.
That's part of what you call your mantra, isn't it? That you will never be stopped. You'll continue moving on. You'll continue, moving to greater success.
Yeah, there's no stopping me. I'm 29 years old. I've got bundles of energy. This is just the start of what we've done, and we've become very successful from nothing, literally organic growth. And this is literally the start of what we're about to create.
Yeah. And how has this grown in the number of companies and the number of people that you have now? How have you watched the growth of what you do?
Yeah, I review constantly. I review weekly, I review yearly. I went through a massive exercise of reviewing my year last year. And I even sent to my mum the other day my goals each year from year 1 to year 6. And it went from my goals in year 1 to get to 4 people to then my goals in now year 6 to get to 220 people. And this is my big thing when I speak to the therapists that I work with. I focused a lot on my work goals, and I set huge health goals for this year. And even she says, and this is for everyone.
Did you say health goals?
Health goals. I'm big about my health.
Yes.
I want to take my health to the next level.
What does that mean?
I believe, and I said to my company, what you do in your personal life creates how you are in your career, your professional life. And it's changed me as a person by focusing more on my health, my mind, the way I think. Getting therapy. I didn't need therapy because I was going down a bad path. It was more because I want to continuously improve. And me doing that has changed my whole mindset. And the way I think now is a lot different.
Therapy has changed your mindset?
Yeah. The way I think.
So how is that done?
How you think positive.
Yeah.
How you think about the future. How you train your mind to be the new self. I'm big about the meditation and how you create a new mindset by consistently driving in new habits and new ways of thinking. And I've gone from probably a stressed person from my childhood to becoming calm, and that's the big shift in my whole life, is how I changed the way I think and my mind and everything, because it's created the new person which I am today. And it's something I'm huge about now, is the mind. I study the mind a lot and I think a lot about how I think, but like I said, I continuously review my goals.
But all that is very, very personal to you. How do you manage to sell those ideas to all the people who work with you and all the people who work for your company?
I inspire people. I show people what it takes to be successful. They are working for someone at the end of the day that is a winner. I'm a winner. That's what I do, and everything I do is about being the best. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I probably need to stop being so such a perfectionist in everything I do, but I want everything to be the best, and they're working for a winner. I drive people to be winners, and you know, if people are ambitious themselves, they want to work for someone that leads them to that direction. You know, I motivate my company all the time. I commit to everyone that joins my business that I will be the hardest working person they'll ever meet, and I will commit to that. I always commit to people what they can expect from me. Regardless if I expect from them, they always know what they can expect from me. And I think that's key, for, you know, especially when you've got a clear vision, which people are buying into. If they can understand what commitment a CEO is giving, they're going to buy into that even more.
But this is all very individual to you. This is what you created from a very young age 23. How easy or how difficult is it to convince others to act exactly as you do, to understand the importance and the benefits of therapy, to understand the importance of commitment? How easy is that?
Showing people how it's changed my life, I think, is a key thing. It's a case study. It's hard, don't get me wrong, not everyone wants that. Not everyone, I'm a bit of a freak to be honest with you, but not everyone can do that, you know. I treat my emails like my WhatsApp. You know, I'm more on my emails than my WhatsApp, you know, and speaking. So my work is everything, and not everyone is committed to that the way I am. But as long as I can get people as close to that, then that's satisfaction for me. And that's my goal, is how do I motivate people? How do I drive people? How do I create a good work environment? I'm big about recognition, rewarding, and giving back. We spend a lot of money on celebrating with people, giving stuff back to them, giving them a good environment, treating them. We're huge about that within this company, and naturally there's lots of things that I have to think about. I plan all the time. That's what I mean. I work weekends. I'm committed to the success of this organisation, and it's very hard. And it's, like I said, it's lonely at the top, right? I'm a sole founder of this business, so it's difficult. It has its challenges 100%, and I'm 29 years old. I've never run a global business in my life. This was the first time I've ever set up a business, by my market stalls where I was standing in the freezing cold.
Does it ever concern you that this is very much an individual effort, so linked to you and to your personality, to your drive, to your industry, to your ambition?
It is, but again, my mindset shifted with that. I've hired some great people recently, and I believe a contributed effort from everyone is going to allow us to perform even better, even quicker. I'm not an expert in every area. I know how to drive a high-performing business. I know what success looks like. I know how to motivate my team. But I've hired real experts within their field to join the business as part of our senior leadership team to take us to our exit strategy that we have.
And what does success look like? I mean, in financial terms, it's been absolutely remarkable. Are you looking for more? Are you looking for?
Of course, I'm thriving for more. We want to exit, you know, and sell the company in probably 3.5 years, 3 years.
To sell the company?
Yeah, we want to sell the company.
Okay.
I have goals.
And do what?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I want to give back to probably, like I said, the younger generation. Set up a platform and training program for
foundations.
Correct. That's my goal. I have lots and lots of ideas that I want to do. Recruitment is what I'm great at, and I'm actually passionate about what I do. I love what I do, and I think that's a big difference. Not a lot of people love recruitment. I generally do, but I have lots of ambitions of what I do. I'll be 32, 33 years old, and I have my whole life ahead of me.
And what is the essential science of recruitment? What would you say if somebody said to you, you know, what's interesting and important and crucial about that in its elements?
To be the best, and I had the conversation with my team in our kickoff in January, and I said, you can be good, you can be okay, you can be average, you can be great, or you can be the best. And that's how I drive the business. So what does the best look like? You work harder than anyone. You really sacrifice your life, especially in your earlier years, to your career. Not a lot of people are willing to do that. I believe it's about your mindset in terms of being persistent. It's rocky. Recruitment is not, you know, you're dealing with people at the end of the day. You got to deal with emotions. You got to deal with people changing jobs. You got
And people can be difficult to deal with.
exactly 100% clients. You know, the amount of people that get the phone put down on them. That's life, though. That's sales. But what are you looking to do to drive through that? What discipline do you have? Do you have that persistence? And these are the key things. But you cannot knock hard work. And this is what people forget. They think it's a simple road. People probably look at my life and think, oh, he's got it easy. I don't. This has been one of the hardest things to do. It is stressful, but it's how you manage that. And that's why I've got help to help me manage how I deal with things, right? But you cannot knock hard work, and that's what people forget.
Do you still have to drum that into the minds of people you work for?
100%.
Because there is this perception that some of these things can come, people talk about good luck or great fortune.
Yeah.
But to convince people that it all begins with hard work is not always easy.
It's not. It depends what sort of background you've come from. I love the saying, poor, hungry, driven. I love people that, that's something, that was a philosophy that someone said to me before, that's what I hire. And I said, look, it's a great philosophy. People that have come from nothing are hungrier than anyone. They've got more grit, will, determination to make something of themselves. And I love seeing people that have come from nothing, as kind of what I did, and make something of themselves. Because that is a sign of satisfaction for me, personally. I don't care where someone's come from. I don't care what walk of life they've come from. I don't care what country they've come from. It doesn't bother me. For me, it's about what do they want, how much they actually want it. And that's what I love to see, is people that really want to make something of themselves, because I can relate to them people.
Now, you lived in Essex. You now have an office in Miami. You're thinking about possibly going to New York at some stage. When you look back at the way this all began, does it surprise you that it's become so big?
100%. It's my whole life's changed. Literally, my whole life's changed. And money didn't make me. I made money. I made everything that I've got. Everything has come from what I've created, what I've done, the sacrifices I've made. And not everyone's willing to do that. Very, very, very rarely are people willing to do that. Recruitment was a lot easier, back in the day. When I set this up, there's a lot more competition. There's over 40,000 recruitment companies in the UK. You have to be different. You have to add value. You have to...
There are about 40,000. In
40,000, yeah. So there's a lot of
this
competition.
country?
Yeah, just this country on its own.
Yes.
So there's a lot of competition, but what value can you add? How do you inspire people? What makes InterEx different to our clients? InterEx different to people that want to get into recruitment?
And better than some of the others.
Of course. You've got to show how you are the best. And I believe we are creating something, it's a winning formula, is what we're creating. But my whole life's changed 100%, but I've created this. It's from my sacrifices that's allowed me to get to this position.
And the growth of the companies with which you're associated now, is that a cause of great satisfaction? But you can't sort of lie back on your laurels. You have to keep pushing.
I'm out of my comfort zone this year 100%, and we open up another office. When I moved to Miami and we opened up the office in the first time I stepped into the US was the first time I opened up the office. I never even been to the US before, but that's me. I take risks.
That's extraordinary.
Yeah. I hate flying.
Why did you decide to do that, to go there?
There are no recruitment companies in Miami that have made a name for themselves. And for me, recognition is key. If we can dominate a state and we can be the go-to recruitment company in Miami, it makes our position a lot more easier to say, this is what we've done, and now we're going to come to New York and do it even 10 times faster. Like I said, for me, it's all about recognition, the name that we're creating. And, stuff happens and not everything goes to plan, and that's life, and not everything has ever gone to plan. But it's what we're doing in terms of the strategy, the plan, and the shift that continues that growth.
And you're still planning to move further on?
100%. It's not going to stop. We've doubled for the last 2 years. We want to double again for the third year. We've hired a new leadership team that are really going to take us to that further growth. It's not going to stop, and I don't want it ever to stop because I get bored. And I don't want to sit on a beach somewhere. I don't want to, work 9 to 5. I don't have interest in that. I want to work my arse off until we sell and get myself into a position as healthy I can possibly be.
I know you are always very aggressive in looking at the future and thinking of what things could be. But do you ever look back and think, wow, we've come a long way from a boy in Essex at 23 to start a company, and now to move to Miami and to think of going on to other big cities?
Yes. But I don't want to look. I feel like when I look at my past too much, it makes me negative. It makes me think a little bit negative about things.
Although it's been a past of some success.
Of course, it has. It's crazy, some of the things we was doing when we first set up the business in 2016 to what we're doing now, it's completely changed. I do look at it, I look at it every day. I look at the past, we call it plants, that I'm proud of, and there's some big things that I'm 100% proud of. I've done things that I've wanted to complete in my whole lifetime that I've done already. So, but now it's about what more, and I'm always seeking for more. There's not enough for me, and I want more, and I crave more, and I thrive for more, and I'm always chasing for more, but in the right way. I don't want to chase and be desperate. I want to chase for success. I want to chase to improve. I want to be better.
When you look at your competitors and talk to your competitors, if you do you get a measure of exactly where you are in the scheme of things, in the growth of things?
I believe we're the best at what we do in our company size. Generally do believe that we are the best at what we do. There's no one that's gone through our growth, from organic growth anyway. And I don't get too involved in my competitors, if I'm honest with you, because it steers my focus away. I like focusing on us. I never will have a bad word to say about my competitors. They are on their path, I'm on my path. I know me the most, I know my why the most, I know what we're doing the most, and that's why I love to just focus on what we're doing. And the industry is, there's a lot of talk around what people say about companies and people, but for me, my only worry is ever InterEx, and my only worry is about, what myself and my family think about what we are doing as an organisation.
And what do they think when you talk to members of your family? What do they think about?
I hope to think that they're happy. My mum's very happy. Mum's a shareholder within the business. She's got some shares. She's very happy, and she's helped me out a lot. She's my sounding board on most things. Financially, not business, but she's helped me out a lot, and she's got me through a lot of things, and she's been the one person. Yes, we're so alike and we clash a lot, but she's been the one person I've always been able to rely on.
And you focus very much on the present because you are, interested in what's going on now, at this moment.
Yeah.
But when you look at what the future holds, what does that look like?
The future, for me personally,
and for InterEx.
Yeah, InterEx, like I said, we want to sell in the next 3.5 years. I want to create multiple millionaires within this company.
You want to create
millionaires. I want people to be financially free when they leave this organisation.
I've never heard anybody quite say that in those terms, and that's quite specifically what you want to achieve.
I want my company know that I'm very rewarding. This is not about me. I know I earn money, naturally. What I touch, what I do successfully. But for me, I also want people to, reap the rewards as I will on that way, and when we exit and when we sell. And that's, the people in the organisation know that. They know I'm generous. I'm generous for a reason, because I don't want to be the CEO that just takes.
The rumour is that many CEOs think in that general direction of take, and they don't really focus, as you say you are, on the people who work for you.
I'm big about the people. I'm huge about the people. I'm huge about the people having a voice. I say to the people all the time, you've got a voice. You was born with a voice, use it. I want people to use their opinion, their suggestions. I like positive impact. If someone is negative continuously, I have no interest, and I shut off. But I'm all about positive impact, how you can positively impact what we're doing. Feedback is key for me as well. I always want to improve. I crave improvements. I want to improve, right? But the people, for me, and that's why I talk about we a lot, is because it's the people that make this happen within this organisation. And if it's them that are driving everything, and them and myself, but if then they drive everything, naturally, I want to give back to them, and that's what's like super key for me.
And you say as part of your philosophy too that you don't look back, you don't think what might have been, you look forward all the time.
It's happened, it's done, and this is, what my coach always says to me is and I read a lot about it, is creating the future. You create a future by focusing on the future. You create your habits by focusing on new habits. If you focus on your previous self, you just will be your previous self. If you focus on a new self and your new habits, your new way of thinking and your mindset, you create that. And that's what I'm huge about, is what am I creating? What am I telling myself day in, day out of what I want to be, who I want to be? And that's why I focus on the future. And I say to some people, like someone said to me the other day, I'm just really, really, really bad with my replying on emails. I said, that's you telling yourself you are. Doesn't mean you are. You wasn't born, to be really bad at replying to emails. It's because you're telling yourself you are. Why don't you shift your mindset? And that's what I'm huge about, is what people create, what people drive in to ensure that they are a better person. Because everyone can change. But it's down to what you do to create that change.
How do people react to you, especially in places like Miami, knowing where you came from and what you have done? And, what do you get a perception of what they think about what InterEx stands for?
People know InterEx stands for high performance, success, winning, number one, and a platform to be great. That is InterEx. If I was to sum us up, that is exactly who we are. The US is very different. The people are very different, and I've had to adapt to the market because people have to be managed slightly differently as well. It's a lot more mature out there in terms of the way they think. But again, there's pros and cons with both UK and the US. And I have pros and cons for both of it as well. But it's how do we adapt? And that's what's key. That's been a massive, learning curve for me, to be honest with you. And I love learning new things and adapting to new ways. And, people probably think I'm going soft, to be honest with you. But I see the wider scale of the vision. I understand how we need to scale better, quicker, faster, and we have to adapt.
And the future looks good.
Future looks great. I love the word great all the time. The future looks great. I'm really excited. There is so much I want to do, and I just don't have enough time to do it. And that's why I'm continuously looking at how I save my time by focusing on things, by just changes that I make. So really excited. I'm super passionate about everything that we're doing, and it excites me, but scares me at the same time sometimes. That's healthy.
It's very healthy indeed. Jamie Fraser, thank you very much.
Thank you.